From one dynamic duo to another on October 4th, the mayor of Milwaukee decrees by proclamation that it's Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine Day. Brian joins us now. I feel like I'm sitting with royalty, man. What was that day like?
I don't understand how we were there. They know he works for the Nets and I work for the Celtics, but hey, when you have that much influence over a city, you got to just go with it.
And the poor mayor, they tweet that out, the mayor's office of Milwaukee. Such a terrific guy. And he was getting killed by people. Essentially, they were responding with, why are these two knuckleheads getting a day in Milwaukee, especially this guy, Mr. Celtic over here.
Yeah. Do I need to address you as milords or anything? It's a proclamation for crying out loud.
We want the key to the city.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Anyway, Brian, great to have you with us. You're here covering the Celtics, obviously. And this is a team that's been blowing the doors off so far. 4-0, coming off 155 points. What kind of a challenge have they been for opponents so far?
I mean, the Knicks played them the best so far at the opening of the season, but, you know, last year I was really critical of their offense. They would play 5 guys around the perimeter. They would settle for threes a lot. And I don't know if that was the plan now with Tatum posting up, but they're second in the NBA in post-up. So they're starting to get guys down there. Drew Holiday is another guy that they're finding where they're having better offensive balance, better spacing. And with Kristaps Porzingis, he's defending the rim. So in the NBA, when you dominate that restricted area offensively and you defend it defensively, you're going to have a great record, and that's what they've had so far.
The two best players on the team, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. They've played in a ton of conference finals games. They've been to an NBA Finals. What is the next step for them, besides winning a championship?
Sure.
But as individual players, what's the next step?
I mean, I think, for me, it's they have to make people around them better. They have to pick their moment. They have to, when a guy has it going, you got to let that guy shine. If Drew Holiday has a matchup, go to him. If Derek White, and we saw it in the Miami game, Derek White had an amazing fourth quarter. In the Knicks game, Porzingis had an amazing fourth quarter. So those guys got to dictate that. But when things aren't going well, the best players have to right the ship. If the Nets, who are great in transition and knockdown corner threes, if they're out running and all of a sudden it's 10-2, well, Tatum and Brown got to be the ones that direct that ship go in the right direction. And that's what a true elite superstar does. And I think at times they do it, but you got to be consistent in that, or you got to at least put your best foot forward. It doesn't always work out in the NBA, but you have to have the confidence that you're going to do that to get the team back on track.
Frank talked about next level for those two, but how far have they come already being paired together? What kind of growth have you seen? Because the Nets, with some of their young players, are looking for that kind of growth.
Yeah, so to me, I think they're past we keep losing in the conference finals. They go to the finals and they lose. I think, to me, it looks like they're ready to win. And that's people ignore that. They love talent. They love young talent. But you have to come, like, when you have all the money and the accolades and the all-stars and somewhat you had some success, you got to, it's, for those elite guys, it's like winning or death for them. And that's where, like, Tatum and Brown need to get to. And I felt that so far. Like, Brown had a great night. The next night he has 3 shots or he's 3 for 7 from the field. He's fine with it because winning has to be the most important thing.
You know, you were a part of the last New Jersey Nets team that went to an NBA Finals. It would be nice maybe if Aaron Harris would roll out the red carpet for you when you show up. That's another story altogether. This Brooklyn Nets team, they made a lot of moves. No more Kevin Durant, no more James Harden. Kyrie Irving, they have played really well.
Sure.
And it's been a tough schedule. What have you thought about this Nets team?
So they have an identity. They push the ball. They knock down corner threes. They love the assist, and Ben Simmons had a lot to do with that. The question would just be, all those things I mentioned, those are all things that happen in the flow of the game. From minute 1 to minute 44, last 4 minutes of the game, sometimes you just need a guy. And I don't know if they have that guy. Is Cam Thomas going to be that guy? I don't know. Is Bridges going to be that guy? Is Dinwiddie? Like, you have to have a guy that's a closer for you. And that closer has to draw too and make people around him better. Like, I'm still wondering if they have that guy, but who knows? Like, they might just run people off the floor, and that could be their identity. I played with a guy, Jason Kidd, that just ran people off the floor, but what people don't know about him is at the end of a game, he'll make the defensive play. He'll make the big-time assist. He'll get the tip in on the offensive rebound. He'll push the ball where Ben Simmons needs to learn how in the last 2 minutes of a game, right?
Yeah.
So those are things that they have to learn. Like, don't pretend or don't think we should walk the ball. Like, embrace your identity, do it, and then see what happens. And that team went all the way to the finals. I've always said, like, Ben Simmons could be like a Jason Kidd type, but Jason Kidd, in the last 6 minutes of a game, he's a different dude.
You mentioned running teams off the floor. You heard Jacques Vaughn last night after the game talking about we at least have the ability to run guys hard in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That teams don't expect that, or they can't keep pace with that. Maybe that's an advantage for the Nets. Maybe that wins them some games this season.
Yeah, you have to look. If Ben Simmons is walking that ball up the court in the fourth quarter, to me, I would love to see what those possessions end up being like. Because why not? Why not play with some pace? Why not all of a sudden, late in a game, when everyone thinks you're going to pass, and just crack a guy off the dribble and go right to the basket? So I got my eye on Ben Simmons. I was a Ben Simmons fan at the very beginning. I think his talent is off the charts. But in the fourth quarter, I don't like the way he downshifts.
All right, so really quickly on the play-in or the in-season tournament, excuse me. Other than the court in Chicago, which was dreadful, and we were watching the games last night, I mean, I thought the NBA got off to a good start.
Well, it's 10-20, and Frank said there's 3 minutes left in the game. Let's go home right after this. We didn't get out of there until 11:05.
That was the Golden State game.
Golden State game. That was the Golden State. Reviewing and all this stuff. It's nice. We're talking about it. I think a lot of people are talking about it, whether they like it, don't like it. I think it's good. There's some dog days in the NBA. November could be dog days. I think it's a good idea. Now, the courts, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I got to figure this out. We heard drummers off to the side here, and is that still a continuation of your day in Milwaukee?
Oh, yeah. That's how it was.
The marching band, you get all of
trumpets.
it, right?
There was trumpets.
And he's not going to say this, but can they at least show him on the scoreboard during a timeout
No,
tonight?
I don't need that.
The guy was
you got to do it.
The guy was in a fight.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
Come on, Aaron Harris.
I can't get love everywhere I go.
You were on a team that went to the finals here. Richard Jefferson walks around like he owns the place.
Hey, all I know is if I get love in Chicago and Boston, that's enough, right? I need another city, and now Milwaukee.
And Milwaukee.
And Milwaukee.
Cities.
I went to school in L.A. They love me there. Come on. It's okay if you guys don't like me.